Okay.
Bingo. And I see the little red light, Miss Sue. So good morning, good afternoon. How are you?
It's lovely talking to you, Monica.
It's an absolute treat.
Yeah. It's Sue Ellam here from Soulfully Connecting, and today I've got the great pleasure of interviewing Monika Phillips. Now, Monika has a company called House of Angel Card Readings, and she's been very closely tied with Soulfully Connecting for the past just over a year, actually, doing kind of weekly angel readings. But her life is speeding up and taking different directions.
Yes.
So I just wanted to catch up with Monica and find out what's happening, and all your mediumship work and to do with it and the horses and everything. So let's start off. So Monica, who are you? Who is Monika Phillips?
That is such a great question. My instantaneous reaction when people ask me that, first of all, is I'm a child of God that has been blessed beyond blessings. And one of the things that I love to do is to help and to serve. And I don't know, Sue, if you had a chance to read my book, but at a very, very young age, I had an out-of-body experience. And because of that, I found I could do energy healing. I would talk to dead people at the age of 7. We would just take away people's pain. But also, I used to kind of get all of those wonderful, well, you would know that feeling, those gut feelings that we used to call them when we were kids, that intuitive sense of knowing you shouldn't turn left, you need to go right kind of thing. And that kept developing over the years. And I was very blessed with parents and siblings and friends and family that understood it. They didn't like poo-poo it away like a lot of parents do. Because a lot of parents tell their young children, oh, that's just your imagination. Oh, they'll grow out of it. Well, instead, my parents would encourage it because my mother was very psychic, very intuitive. Yeah. And so it has been a lifelong dream of mine to find a way to help people and to be able to serve. And I discovered card readings, even though I was doing psychic predictions, if you will, or readings. I found card readings were something people were very into. I think they like the pretty pictures. And it's funny because when you become certified in something, people pay more attention. So I'm a certified angel card reader, an angel intuitive, a psychic, a medium, but also an energy healer. So it's a little bit of everything combined, but it all comes down to the fact that who is Monika Phillips? A person who wants to serve.
Yeah. And what made you choose angel cards? Because there's many different types of cards. So why angels?
Years ago, here in the U.S., we had what was known as the California Psychics Network. And my husband and I both joined the network to do readings, and I bought a traditional Rider's Waite tarot deck. Could not get into it, just couldn't. I know that you use the regular tarot. I couldn't get into them. I couldn't figure out the symbolism of it all. And about 2 years ago, I discovered Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine had angel cards. And I got intrigued, and I got intrigued, and I got intrigued. And I bought a deck. No, still can't get into this. But then they started offering a course for certification. And I kept saying, no, don't want to do that. Nope, don't want to spend the money. Nope, can't get into it. Have this deck. Doesn't serve me any purpose. I put it away in a drawer. And then it was like, okay, well, they're going to cut their classes in half. And it kept popping up on my newsfeed on Facebook. And I'm like, Lord, am I supposed to do this? I said, no, still don't want to spend the money, still don't want to get into it. Next thing I know, they're offering it on payment plans so you could pay it by month. And I said, okay, I could afford that. Am I supposed to do this? And I had the regular angel answer cards. And so I said, you know what, let's see if I can get into you. And so I kept shuffling and I kept asking the same question. Am I supposed to take this course? And it kept popping up, yes. It's like ask your angels. It kept popping up with everything that was affirmative. So I finally gave in and I gave it. And when I started the course, all the symbolism started to make sense to me. And I started buying more and more decks. And I found that people really in tuned with the angel presence of the cards. Plus they're pretty, they're not scary. A lot of people have that Hollywood version or the movie version of tarot. You and I both know the death card doesn't mean death. Yeah. People get scared by that imagery or the hangman or whatever it might be. Yeah. But people really tuned into the pretty pictures. And personally, I don't like using cards at all to do a reading, but I find a lot of people need that as an affirmation of what it is that we're saying.
Yeah.
Because you use your psychic abilities to read, but the cards affirm what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. And I use cards called the Mythic Tarot, and
Okay.
it's based on Greek mythology, so it's very archetypal.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I
And
love your readings.
yeah, thank you. And they're beautiful cards. And as you're quite right, you know, if I some of the cards, they're really quite frightening, the pictures, and people get fixated. They don't listen to what you're saying. They're just fixated on this image.
Yes.
And I don't have that with the mythic, because they are gentle. They've got very strong message, but they're
Right.
kind of gentle pictures. And I just, you know, some people have called them like the starter tarot, but I've
Okay.
just stuck with them because I really resonate with them. So I've been using them for about 23 odd years.
And when you find what you like, stay with it, right?
Yeah, yeah. And there's other. It's funny because I've got a pack of angel cards, but they were given to me as a gift, and I don't mind taking them. But I again don't have the draw to do the angel cards. So I think everybody just finds what is right for them.
What they resonate with. Absolutely.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And you're right. People only hear what they want to hear and see what they want to see.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So what do you actually do? What does your day look like?
Well, I get up in the wee hours of the morning, generally about 2 o'clock. I have been doing that since I was very, very young. And I sit down, and the first thing I always do is go into prayer. And that's part of my meditation process. And I have a Facebook page, of course, I have my website, and I'm always running different promotions and kind of doing readings. I love it because with the gift of Facebook, I can do international readings. I have a huge following in Australia. Don't ask me how,
Yeah.
but that happened. And I get a lot of requests for different types of readings, especially with the mediumship, and I am looking to expand that even more because I love doing group mediumship readings. And I go to different people's homes, but I also do it via Skype or via Facebook as a group too. And sometimes I'll get visions like we all do. And then it's like I have to go do a group mediumship because this message is important to get out there. So I always ask for the day to start in whatever I need to do and how can I serve again. And it just kind of takes off. Already did a reading just prior to this interview with you. And it was an email request that I had. And I don't just kind of like, oh, here's your card and done. I like expand upon it like you do with your readings. And it gets wild and crazy. I mean, it really does. It's just, you never know what the day is going to bring. It's just, here we go.
Isn't it interesting? Because sometimes I'll get feedback because I've got kind of clients that have been coming to me for years, and every now and then they said, oh, last time you said this. And I thought, those don't sound like words that I'd have used.
Right.
But somehow or other, it's like it's like something kind of talks through you. It's the cards become just superfluous. I don't really mean superfluous, but you find suddenly you're saying things without.
It don't sound like you, would not be your verbiage, would not be your manner of speech.
Absolutely.
It happens all the time. And that is one of the things that like I literally surround myself with healing light, but also with my own angels, with my guardian angels and my guides. And that's part of what I do with the cleansing process every morning during prayer. And when I do a reading, it's like my hands don't even feel like my own when I'm doing an email one.
Yeah.
And I'm just like typing away, and then I'll look and read it and go, huh?
Yeah.
You can go, what? Even when I do the YouTube this morning, I know you watched it, there are times where I'm saying things, and when I finish saying it, I have no recollection of saying that at all. And
Yeah.
people say, Monika, you told me that 6 months ago. I don't remember. They're gone.
Yeah.
And you're right. It is letting go and surrendering to divine is the way I look at it.
Yeah.
Because that way it's a true message. It's not this made up, again, Hollywood version of a card reader or a psychic.
Yeah.
Because you and I both being psychic, we literally know how to surrender to the guidance that we're given.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's always beautiful. It's always healing. It's always direct. It's always very clarifying. And that's part of what I love.
Yeah. Did you find that when you were writing your ebook? Because I know that when I'm, I don't write blogs very often.
Right.
I'm not a disciplined writer that I sit down and write. I just suddenly something will strike me or whatever, and then I've literally sat down and I've written it within a few hours,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll read it back some months later, and I thought I couldn't write that again if I tried.
Exactly. And my ebook was exactly like that. I actually am starting my second one now.
Huh?
And when I sit down, and it's just like when I'm doing an email reading, when I sit down and I'm like, okay, it's time to get started, it's like I open this door or this window, if you will. And the next thing I know, my hands are like literally flying on the keyboard with this kind of a sound. And I'm like, what did I just write?
Yeah.
Yeah, it literally takes over. And I knew that that ebook needed to be done, just like the second one is like kind of like, Monica, hi, remember us? And you get a few pages done and then you go, I need a break. And you look at your watch and it's 3 hours later.
Yeah.
It's just, it flies by, but it's not really, I think anyone that's an author, when they allow that to open, it just pours.
Yeah. It has to be intuitive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I said I can't just I can't just sit and write when the mood's got to take me, or the subject's got to take me. You know, absolutely. So, I mean, I think you've answered a lot of it, but why do you do what you do?
It's literally become a passion. It literally has become this overwhelming force. It's this morning I laughed because the cards that I used this morning on YouTube were life purpose. I haven't used that deck on YouTube for forever, but it is truly my life purpose, and it's literally, it sits right here in the heart. Yeah. That I have to do it. You know, people always say you're overdoing it. No, I'm not. It's like, come on, I want to do more. I want to do more. I want to do more. It is this drive and this passion, but also part of it is the fact that I raise funds to help save animals, primarily horses. That is a biggie. It also, being out of the corporate world, you don't have a regular paycheck and benefits. And that was the giant leap of faith, which is one of my favorite cards in the deck, that I took. But I became impassioned after my horse died a few years ago, and I became very aware of the slaughter industry for horses. Sorry, it still shudders me. And so I literally put aside a portion of my readings to help save horses.
Yeah.
For their aftercare, for getting them off the auction lots, for getting them off the kill buyers lots, for whatever it might be. So that's another drive for me to raise the funds to do that. And every time we save another one, it's like, whew, next.
Yeah, I mean, I have looked into lots of different things like that, and it, you know, I don't put it kind of onto the Facebook page because I try to keep the Facebook page kind of uplifting.
Right.
But there's some horrendous things that you come across.
You really are.
Yeah, and they kind of stay with you, and you don't want to inflict it on other people without their choice. Sometimes you'll see these horrific images, and
oh, I know. Please, God forbid.
Yeah, and you don't get the choice of because they've just turned up on somebody's feed, you know, and you're not given the choice to open it or not.
It's just there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I agree with you. And that's one of the things I make sure I don't post on Facebook are the horrific pictures. But there's a need. It's one of the reasons I do what I call readings for a cause, but once a week now on Friday afternoons, where people can buy a reading from me and we'll do it live and they can pay what they want.
Yeah.
And those monies are put aside specifically for the horses. And I will mention part of what happens without the imagery.
Yeah.
This morning there was a beautiful little palomino that needs to get rescued, and I posted her, but she looks beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, she needs to be rescued. What can we do to help?
Yeah. It's interesting. I wrote, this is one of the articles I did write some time ago, and it was about the imagery, because I think as you're more into the kind of the charity side of it, I'm wondering if some of this imagery actually shuts people down because, uh, people just trying to get past it, so they don't even actually read what it's about. I think some people will donate anyway, but I'm wondering if sometimes there's so many shocking pictures out there that people have become a bit desensitized.
They really have, and it's like the news feed that we get too, the regular news feed on our television sets.
Yeah.
We become very desensitized to horror, to murder, to violence, to abuse. And when I see pictures of dogs in particular being abused, I shudder. As an empath, I shudder, and it disturbs my soul. And I scroll quickly past. Now, if they had put up this is what's going on verbiage-wise, and said, how can you help? I probably would have tuned in much more than seeing a dog being whatever.
Yeah.
Or a horse, or any animal, or a child. Even, we have people and senior citizens going through this as well.
Yeah.
So there's so many causes that are out there, and I do think they use the horrific side of it to get attention, but I think they're getting the wrong attention.
Yeah, that was how I was feeling about it, because it kind of, some of the images, I mean, I've still got them in my head, and they've really shaken me. And if I concentrate on them, I go straight back into that feeling of kind of just what for the animal, and going through it, and it's a horrible feeling.
Absolutely.
And I like to know that I've got the choice, or give me the words.
Right. And tell me what you're doing and let me help you. You don't need to show me what has been in the past.
Yeah. Yeah.
Show me what we can do now. Let's not look at the past. And I talk about that a lot. The past you can't change. Let's move forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So what are the challenges you find with the kind of the work you do?
Getting the word out there, a lot. Getting the word out there, because Facebook changed its algorithms on the 1st of January, and business pages like yours and mine, now they want us to pay for posts or pay for boosts. Yeah. And frankly, my work isn't local. Yeah. So they keep talking about boosting it locally and reaching how many other people. That serves me no purpose. So unless people are actually going to your page, which I've done, and set as priority under the liked, then they don't see your feeds all the time. Yeah. Or they have the choice of liking and hearting a few of them, and then Facebook keeps feeding them to you. Yeah. But if they only see it like once in a blue moon or once a week, then those eventually fade away. Yeah. So I've discovered my reach is different ever since the 1st of the year. And again, if I were the type that had like a brick and mortar and opened up my doors and did it locally, it would be an entirely different thing. So that is a big challenge, to get people to realize that what I do is very different from anyone else. Plus, there are a lot of angel card readers. Yeah. Yeah. There really are a lot of angel card readers. And I will tell you that a lot of them just do it for free. Yeah. And it's just like, almost like they want to practice. Yeah. Or get the attention. And then because so many people are giving it away for free, people go, oh, then I don't need to pay for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I found this was interesting because I did the festivals for probably a good 14 years. Right. And I found that people would undercut and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But I remember one that I went to, and this person had waited for me. I'd just gone off for a wander and I came back and they were waiting for me. And they said to me, somebody over there does it. I was in New Zealand at the time, actually. And she said, somebody around there only does it for $10. She said, but it can't be very good. So.
I like her already. Okay.
I know. So, sometimes people, shoot in the foot. I mean, I've given some free readings in the past, but I found that the free readings haven't been as valued as the ones people kind of pay for. So I don't do it really for that reason, because it's like easy come, easy go. But if people have got to pay for it, and I know there was one person that somebody said, oh, unless she pays top dollar. She won't listen. It's incredible, the mental
The
kind of,
mentality of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely.
You know, I've followed Blair Robertson, and, you know, I've taken a lot of courses through Blair and James Van Praagh, and both James and Blair will say the same thing, and it's becoming my mantra almost. It is harder to give away something for free and have people respect it than it is if you charge top dollar.
Yeah, yeah. And I think also when it comes into this kind of work as well, you know, I was once challenged, not, it doesn't happen very often, but I was once challenged, well, you know, why aren't you doing this for free? I said, well, what work do you do? They said, well, I'm an engineer. I said, well, would you do that for free? What's the difference? It's still a way of helping. You know, there's not, there shouldn't be a kind of a decision that just because it's kind of psychic work that, you know, it should be for free, but everything else, because you quite rightly say, we have to buy the implants. Some people take courses and things, so there's an outgoing as well.
Plus there's an energy exchange when you do this.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite expressions, I started to say yes to free readings, but there was a condition. And I said, I would be delighted to do a free reading for you. Here's the bill for my car payment. They changed their tune real quick.
Yeah, I mean, I found when you know, I quite like doing swaps. You know, when I did the festivals, you know, I'd see a lovely crystal, because I love my crystals.
Yeah.
See a crystal, and the stallholder would say, well, I'll swap the crystal for a reading. So
there's an energy exchange. That's beautiful.
It doesn't actually have to always be about cash.
No, I love barter. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
And it's like, hi, I'll gladly do a free reading for you. Here's my grocery list. I don't mind, you know.
Make sure it's semi-skimmed.
Yes.
So what are the joys of the work you do?
The feedback that I get, the thank yous that I get, the healing that comes from the messages that I give, especially in mediumship and especially in energy healing. Even people that are trying to figure out a life decision and they're blocking their own guidance because they're so fearful. When we remove the fear and the divine guidance comes through and it plays out exactly as we were stating, and the joy that brings to the individual, those type of healing messages to me are worth 1,000 times $1,000. That's just the greatest joy I get. It doesn't matter to me if it was a $10 reading or a group mediumship. When I see people heal in that wonderful feeling, there isn't a greater gift. That's what keeps me going, what keeps me doing it.
Yeah. I feel very much the same, that when something's your passion, it's like the thought of not doing it, you just...
It's foreign. Sorry. I can't stop.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the breath of life, isn't it? You just... It's just something you do, and there's no question about it. You know, I mean, I work from home and stuff like that, but there's no way that I could kind of be at home if I didn't have like Soulfully Connecting and my readings and different things. I'm not somebody that would be great at just watching television all day or doing coffee mornings, or, you know.
I don't have time for that in my head. My head's not allowing that.
Yeah. So it's it's not, as you said, it's a passion, and it's something, going back to the beginning, it's a life purpose.
Yep.
And once you've found your life purpose, whether it be early in life or later on, that is your reason for being. That's why you're here this time round.
I constantly get reminded when I stop and I think, oh, maybe I should go back to the corporate world. And then I constantly get reminded by my angel visit, you still have much to do. And then it's like, corporate world is not your much to do.
Yeah.
And that I never lose that phraseology. You still have much to do, and I want to continue doing my much to do.
Yeah.
So it keeps you going.
Yeah. Are you going to Do you feel as though you're drawing away from the cards and more into the mediumship? Because that's a feeling I watch your videos kind of, and there's a feeling like the mediumship is kind of going to maybe take over more.
I really, really feel strongly about it because it is something that I started when I was 7. Even before I went to my out-of-body experience, I was doing it long before then. And it's always been a big, strong part of who I am. And I really feel like what I should be doing is groups. And it's ironic that you asked that question because there's a brand new hotel opening here in my town. And I'm already thinking about holding an event there. And I just want to kind of invite everybody. And it's like not spooky. It's not scary. It's none of those things. And it really is my draw because I keep getting that pull. Like, open the window, Monica. We have messages to share. And when I do the group mediumship, it is amazing to me how many people will flood that live reading that I'm doing. And they are desperate for a message from their loved ones. And even when I'm saying it, because I'll get very specific visions and I know I'm looking for someone special that's going to show up in the live. And yet everybody's going, well, that could be my aunt, that could be my uncle, that could be my dad. What about my dad? What about my mom? And they're trying to make the pieces fit, where I'm a very evidential medium. And I'm like, all of these things have to fit or it's not a fit.
Yeah.
And so I see that desperation and it's just like, I need to do more of it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to probably do that again this week.
Yeah. Are you finding that there's more desperation now than there ever has been before? Because there's so many energy changes, things are speeding up so much.
Yeah.
I mean, I started off with the spiritualist church when I was about 19. I mean, so I've been a kind of round mediums, and I trained as a spiritualist medium actually in the very beginning, but I was drawn more to do the cards and didn't want to do platform work. But there wasn't this kind of desperation. You had time then to kind of gradually learn, and it feels, and it's an analogy I've used before, but it feels as though that everybody's in this race and everybody's at the start line, except some people started off their race so many years ago, and now the people who haven't started or kind of put things, the spiritual side of stuff kind of onto the back burner, they're actually now having to catch up.
Yep.
Because the finish line is in sight and they're having to catch up. So I think there's a feeling of this kind of desperation and really needing to get a handle on things. Are you finding more of that?
A lot of it. One of the biggest things that I'm getting asked lately, in the last 6 months or so, is, Monica, can you tell me how to pray?
Oh.
They've never been raised with it. Or they were raised with a very specific, here's the prayer, read it kind of thing.
Yeah.
And, I'm also seeing people, because of Blair Robertson, because of James Van Praagh, because of Teresa Caputo, because a lot of mediums, especially in England has got some of the most beautiful, wonderful, amazing mediums. That's one on my bucket list, is to come there. Gordon Smith, for example. More and more people are becoming familiar because of television bringing it to the forefront.
Yeah.
And making it the non-Hollywood version.
Yeah.
The reality of it, and people are starting to accept it more. And I think a lot of people are searching for their spiritual growth, their evolution. I think that's why I was drawn to the Life Purpose deck this morning. Of all the cards that came up, spiritual teacher. Hello. Okay, am I going to tune into that one? Absolutely. More and more people are wanting not only the messages because they see they can be real.
Yeah.
They see that it's not fake. They see that it's not like you and I both get things that we could never know about something or someone that's going on in their life right now. And like, I'll get messages and I'm like, how in the world did I interpret that? But it made perfect sense to the sitter.
Yeah.
And yeah, people are beginning to realize this is not fake. This is real. When you find someone that's genuine and authentic. Yeah. And when they find that, they're so like desperate. We're in this hurried environment of this world right now where everything's instantaneous, click my mouse button and we got to have it now kind of feeling, that they forgot sometimes to say I love you to someone that's already passed. And they carry that guilt because they were so hurried or they didn't get a chance to say goodbye, and they don't realize our loved ones are around us all the time. Love never dies, that energy never dies, but people have this imaginary image of people sitting in pretty little clouds playing harps, and that's not the way it is. So when they realize that, they now have a chance to say goodbye. They don't need a medium to do that, but it gives them that healing that they can carry on.
And some people, I think, they adopt beliefs rather than actually coming to their own conclusion. I remember many years ago, I was in a group on LinkedIn, and a question popped into my head, and it was interesting with answers. And the question was, what if you woke up one morning and discovered everything you believed was a lie?
Yeah.
And it was interesting. I mean, I can't remember the answers now, but they were quite diverse, because people just, I don't have a problem with people, for instance, saying they don't believe in tarot, they think it's dangerous, or work of the Satan, and
that's their belief, right?
You get that, yeah, absolutely. And I don't have a problem with that if they've actually tried it. But if, you know, they have heard from their cousin's third cousin twice removed,
best friend,
you know, try it.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, or you think it's dangerous or whatever, then don't do it again. But I have great respect for people who've gone to people who have misused the cards.
And that happens.
Oh, it happens more than
all the time.
Yeah, you'd like to know. But, you know, it's not a deck of cards that is the culprit. It's the intention of the reader, you know.
Absolutely.
So I don't have a problem if people have been frightened, they never want to try it again. That's ish. But don't tell me that this is rubbish when you haven't tried it. You know.
But you know, so when people, you can relate that to almost anything. People say, "Hi, I don't like whole wheat bread."
Yeah.
But they've never tried it before because they've only been fed white, and they watched a sibling eat whole wheat and their face crunched up.
Yeah.
So in their head, that's bad.
Yeah.
And they never let go of those fears. And that's false evidence appearing real. That's what fear stands for to me.
Yeah.
They're not aware, and they only want to believe what they have been raised with. And that's, I say it all the time, don't fight to be right. You know, that doesn't serve a purpose, because not everybody is right. We all have our own points of view. And that is a matter of respect.
Yeah. And I think if people could just be, that they were taught to be open-minded. I mean, hatred is the worst, because you know that just shuts off the mind. Whether you hate people of a different race or different color, or you hated
different beliefs,
whatever it is, it means you yourself are a hobble, because you can't move forward. People don't realize the damage they do to themselves while they're with that mindset.
Absolutely. And you see it on Facebook all the time, where someone will post something and then they'll have 10 people jump down their throats, literally, with nasty verbiage. It's something I'm very much against, because it's a form of bullying.
Yeah.
And you see that hatred come out because someone dared to say something that they didn't believe in.
Yeah.
And it's just like, we need to respect each other. That's what it all comes down to. And share the love, not the anger.
Yeah. But you know, I've got, I know you have as well, I've got great hope and faith for the future of mankind, because you know, I suppose it's ever since I started off with Soulfully Connecting, I'm going back a few years now, when I started to research and learn about things. And there's so many people doing fantastic work, and you know, And there's more good people out there than there are that are working with the negative. It's just the negative people, they tend to get the headlines.
I think they're louder.
Yeah, yeah. They make more of an impact.
They make more noise. Yeah, they make more noise. Even with the horses, I see the best and the best come out of that.
Yeah.
And the efforts that people pour their whole body, soul, mind, money into to kind of help in this cause, in comparison to the, pardon my English, the one or two idiots that say, oh, what you're doing is wrong. Well, no, we saved a life.
Yeah.
But I see hundreds, because I'm part of a network of women and men across this country trying to save lives in the animal world, if you will. And there's always those little naysayers who scream the loudest.
Yeah.
That get the attention. That was the exact word you said. It's get the attention. And I see so much good happening. Instead, it's all quiet. It's very soft. It's very gentle. It's that kind moment. If we could all just be kind to one another, what a world we would be living in.
Yeah.
It just, yeah.
While you were talking, I was just remembering a Facebook post that I shared a few weeks ago, and it was a little duck who had no feet, and somebody had made little feet to this little duck, and people think, oh, that's not, it's only a duck, but it just warms your heart.
Well, you put up a lot of great posts on Soulfully Connecting on Facebook, and I have literally I love this one, Sue, even though I don't tell you that, I'll heart it. It's just oh, Sue, that's a good one. It's adorable. And those positive notes that you send out really do have a ripple effect. And it's just because you'll share it, and then I'll share it, and then 3 other people will share it, and it just continues on. So do I think people are making a difference? Yeah. Is it getting better? Yeah. We just need to keep the media and the Facebook people kind of down, just a little bit down. Just
have our own revolution.
There you go. Or send them oodles of love and light until they can't stand it anymore.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Monika, in love and light.
Yeah, absolutely. Your picture's frozen, and I saw this thing. So
yours did for a second, so hopefully it'll pop back up.
Yeah, yeah. But it's been a delight talking to you. It's we've been
my pleasure.
For such a long time. But can you let people know what your contact details are, please, if they want to get in touch with you?
Thank you, Sue. I appreciate that a great deal. Lots of ways to reach me. On Facebook, it would be House of Angel Card Readings. On email, it would be houseofangelcardreadings@gmail.com. And my website, well, yeah, I did do the Gmail. And the website, of course, is houseofangelcardreadings.com. And there's a contact page there as well. So lots of ways to reach me. That's the easiest. So it's whether Facebook, whether it's...
You there?
I'm still here.
Okay. It just, I think it kind of dinged, so I didn't know if we'd lost connection.
It just said internet connection was unstable, but then it looks like it came back.
Oh, yeah, you're back now. You're back now.
Am I moving again? Okay.
You are. Yeah. Okay. Well, if anybody wants to have a reading from Monika or is interested, what about the horses? What can people do to help with the horses if they feel to?
Well, see, I never believe in being able just to give to donate, and I love that they want to. They certainly can. I have a PayPal link, and the PayPal link is real simple. It's paypal.me/House of Angels. So if they want to do that, and in the notes they can just put for the horses. On my website, there's also a reading specifically designed for the horses, and it has a picture of my boy Radar. So it's a little $10 reading. I only use this one deck. And it's kind of like ask a question and we'll answer it. And those money gets put aside. If they join me on Facebook when I do the live readings for a cause, they literally pay what they want to pay for a reading when I'm live. Doesn't matter to me if it's $2, $20, or $200. All of those monies also get put aside for the horses.
Good. It's very, very valuable. And it always does my heart good to know there's kind of people really... Some people it's dogs, some people it's cats, some people it's horse. Every kind of species have their champions.
Yes, they do. Yeah. Thank goodness they do.
Absolutely.
Well, I spent many years working for the Humane Society, so I'm a sucker for seniors, senior citizens, and animals. So yeah.
Well, it's been a delight, as I said, talking to you, and
My pleasure.
and good luck with everything. And we'll remain in touch.
Thank you, Sue. It has been a pleasure. I'm going to send you love and light today for your beautiful May.
Thank
And
you.
thank you so much for allowing me this opportunity to speak with your guests as well on Soulfully Connecting.
My pleasure. So thank you very much for joining us, everybody. And so it's goodbye from myself and from Monika. Okay. Take care. Have a great day. Bye.